My name is Kala, Arvind Kala. This is heart wrenching. In a recent week, there were three students who killed themselves because of exam stress. And of them, there was one girl, probably 17, 18, who left a note for her parents saying this was the only option for me. This is how tragic this exam stress is, and it's the parents who drive the kids to suicide. Now, I'll give you a figure. 2 years ago, I'm talking of in 1 year, 10,700 under 18s killed themselves. Of them, 864 killed themselves because of exam stress. There's two deaths a day. So what the hell, it's the parents who are driving, become a doctor, become an engineer, etc. Now, that the chance of you getting into IIT, one of these aspirants getting into IIT is something like 1%. So all those parents, and the 10 lakh students trying for 16,000 seats. And all those parents think that their son is the or their daughter is going to be in that 1% and not in that 99%. Well, my friends, the sad thing is bloody 18, 90, 95% of us are mediocre. It's absolutely, that is how it is. But the overlove of parents, how can my son not be an engineer? How can my daughter this thing? You bloody fool, your son won't become an engineer or doctor, etc., because he was born from a duffer like you. And the parents are duffers, but they expect the children to excel. And that is the cause. And these poor kids, physically they're strong, but emotionally they're weak, they're fragile, and they just don't know what to do. So they kill themselves, two students a day. This is very sad indeed. This is very sad. And the student in this IIT nightmare, etc., it never ends. And they go to IIT, and there they kill themselves because they're unable to cope with studies. There was something like 36 students killing themselves in IIT in a span of, I think, 1 year or 5 years. I'm not sure which. And thousands of them drop out. 11,000 students who got admission into IITs and IITs dropped out. 11,000 of them. A huge number of students are students from OBCs, STs, and this, which is that's an acronym for other backward castes and tribals and Dalits. You see, they have reservations, get their reservations, but they can't cope with the studies and they buzz off. And that is what it is. And I tell you, one of the biggest misconceptions in the world is, there's a saying, all men are born equal. Yeah, you have one vote. Every rich man, poor man, he has a one vote. You're equal before the law, etc., etc. But the point is, brains wise, you are extremely unequal, or in many other ways, you're extremely unequal. And that is because of Karl Marx, all men are born equal. So every parent thinks that if one kid excels, the other will also. But why would that be so? You take any famous guy, whether Shah Rukh Khan or Bachchan or Virat Kohli or Sachin Tendulkar or Deepika Padukone or Kareena Kapoor, etc., etc. Their brothers and sisters and fathers, etc., etc., who was not as successful as them. So human beings are extremely unequal. But the law treats everybody thinks this, and all these parents of these now can you imagine there are around 12 lakh students sit for this JEE exam, JEE, which happens twice a year, joint entrance exam for engineering and architecture, etc. And of those 12 lakhs, 2, 3 lakhs drop out before appearing. I mean, they just drop out. They know they won't be able to cope with it. And that is what it is. And almost nobody gets through. First, you get through the main, which itself is very, very tough. But that's not good enough. 80% of them don't make it to the main, but even that 20% who do or whatever, the advanced course is very tricky, because ingenious algorithms have been designed by which you cannot, they'll just test you for this. And the Australian professor I saw on YouTube said you got to be quick and you got to understand, and this, and there's negative marking. It's awful. It's very difficult. I know people are not, and it's all physics, chemistry, and maths, and it's called PCM. I remember as a student, I mean, sometime around ninth or 10th, you have to choose arts and or science. And my physics teacher was a Bengali called Gone. When he started talking of atoms and molecules, I was gone. Then I went to the bloody chemistry thing, and the teacher D'Souza, he took us to a laboratory and they were burning bloody phosphorus there, yeah, in pipettes or something. I said, "What the hell am I doing, yeah? What is the phosphorus doing in my life, or atoms and molecules? How do I care whether I have one or the other or both?" What the hell, yeah? So these kinds of things are, this thing was spatial intelligence. And another thing is, just because you don't understand physics, chemistry, and maths doesn't mean it's the end of the world. Intelligences, Indians are too dopey to realize intelligences come in different, there are multiple forms of intelligence. Some there's a guy who's a mimic, there's a guy who's a writer, there's a guy who's a speaker, there's a guy who's just a naturally funny guy, or there's all kinds of intelligences, or some fellow who's very good with putting things together, etc., etc. There are multiple ways to success also, or whatever. And well, if you're a duffer, etc., etc., what the hell can you do? But parents should never pressure their children. Indian parents, their love is bloody, is nauseating. It is nauseating. Me, my this, I come from a severely middle class family, so I've always seen my son, my daughter-in-law, my son-in-law, then my grandchildren, etc., etc. And all these kinds of parents, incidentally, also get on the children's nerves, because that they're always looking forward. My son is coming, my daughter is coming, my son is daughter, and neither the daughter nor the son is interested in meeting the bloody parents. And meanwhile, the expectations, damn it, when the father himself got third divisions all his life, how the hell can he expect his son or daughter to excel or become a doctor or whatever? And these are very, very stressful things. And becoming a doctor is even more difficult. All India Institute of Medical Sciences, which is the premier institute in India, your chance of getting in a one in a thousand, only one in a thousand get in. And you know what happens, and the stress continues. It just continues. In America, the doctor suicide rate is twice that of the general population. So it's a tough this thing, man. But at least leave these students alone. Poor fellows. I mean, just the other day I read that many of these coaching institutes are thinking of removing the fan from the top, from which a kid can hang himself. So that way you'll tell all the hardware shops in the area, don't sell a rope, don't stop selling ropes, because some fellow will go hang himself. So this is the sad thing. Student suicides, under 18s, 10,700 killing themselves in a year. It is very sad. I don't know what the figures are outside, but at least for heaven's sake, for parents, stop driving your this thing. Me and my wife, we were fathers to a single child, a daughter. We never pressured her on anything, yeah. Besides, we didn't have the patience even to teach Akbar, Babar, etc., etc. She coped on her own and she's done okay, yeah, without physics, chemistry, maths burdening her life. Well, friends, these are stray thoughts from a stray mind, from a stray guy. So I'll bid you farewell. Please forward it to everybody you know. All right? I'll see you later.